In life, we are not defined by the circumstances we are born into, but by the choices we make every day. Wayne Dyer believed that true transformation begins when we rise above fear, doubt, and limitation and take responsibility for the direction of our lives. Rise up and shape your fate is a call to awaken the power within, to break free from excuses, and to boldly create a future aligned with your purpose. This speech is about reminding you that destiny is not something handed to you. It is something you shape with your thoughts, beliefs, and actions. Awaken the power of intention within you by first understanding that everything you experience in life begins as a thought, as an energy that originates from the invisible space of your mind and spirit before it becomes visible in your external reality. Intention is not simply a wish or a passing desire, it is the force that shapes your destiny. The silent yet commanding power that guides your steps and draws into your life the very circumstances that match the vibration you carry inside. When you choose to awaken this power, you begin to recognize that you are not at the mercy of luck or random events, but that you hold within you the ability to shape the course of your journey through the energy you consistently emit. It begins with clarity, because an intention without clarity is like a seed scattered on barren ground. When you know with certainty what you want, not merely from the surface of your mind, but from the depths of your heart, you plant a seed that is destined to grow. Think of the many times you might have acted without purpose, moving through your days on autopilot, reacting to situations instead of directing them. That is the life of someone who has not yet awakened the power of intention. But the moment you decide to live consciously, to hold a vision of what you desire and align your daily actions with that vision, you tap into a reservoir of strength that changes how you think, how you feel, and how you attract opportunities. Intention works like a magnet, pulling toward you experiences, people, and resources that match the energy of your belief. If you intend to live with peace, joy, and abundance, and you truly align yourself with those states in thought and emotion, you begin to create them even before they physically appear. It is important to understand that intention is not forced. It is not about controlling every detail of your life or demanding results on your timetable. Rather, it is about aligning with the universal flow of energy, trusting that once your intention is set with conviction, the path will begin to unfold before you in ways you may not even imagine. Dr. Wayne Dyer often reminded us that intention is not something we do, but something we connect with, a field of infinite possibilities that already exists. When you awaken to this truth, you realize that your role is not to struggle, but to stay aware, focused, and aligned with the energy of what you wish to experience. Many people confuse intention with mere wishing. Wishing is weak. It carries with it the vibration of lack, a sense that what you desire is distant or unattainable. Intention, however, is powerful because it comes with certainty, with faith, with the unwavering belief that what you have set your mind and heart upon is already yours in the unseen realm and only awaits the right time to manifest. When you move from wishing to intending, your entire being shifts. Your thoughts become clearer, your emotions steadier, and your actions more decisive. You stop second-guessing yourself, you stop being swayed by fear, and you begin to live in harmony with a higher power that is always working through you. To awaken the power of intention, you must cultivate awareness of your inner dialogue. The words you speak to yourself every day are seeds of intention, and they either empower you or weaken you. If you constantly tell yourself stories of limitation, failure, or impossibility, those become the intentions you unconsciously set, and life will mirror them back to you. But if you begin to affirm strength, possibility, and growth, you activate the field of energy that supports your expansion. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined, and that is why setting a clear and positive intention repeatedly imprints it into your being until it becomes your reality. Visualization is one of the most powerful tools to awaken intention. When you close your eyes and see yourself living the life you desire, experiencing the emotions of joy, success, love, or freedom, you are not daydreaming, you are rehearsing your future into existence. The brain begins to create pathways that align with that vision, and your body responds as if it is already happening. Over time, you begin to act in ways that move you closer to what you imagine, and opportunities appear that match the frequency of your vision. This is why athletes, leaders, and visionaries practice visualization. They know that the mind must first conceive before the body can achieve. Another vital aspect of awakening intention is aligning your actions with your vision. Intention without aligned action is like a plan without execution. When you declare that you intend to live a certain way, you must also take consistent steps, no matter how small, that reflect that choice. If your intention is health, then your daily actions must include caring for your body. If your intention is abundance, then your habits must reflect discipline, gratitude, and openness to opportunity. When your actions mirror your inner vision, you accelerate the manifestation of your intention, because the universe responds not only to what you think, but to how you show up each day. It is equally important to let go of resistance, because resistance blocks the flow of intention. Doubt, fear, and impatience are forms of resistance that signal to the universe that you are not truly aligned with what you claim to want. When you say you intend to succeed but secretly harbor fear of failure, your energy is divided and the results reflect that conflict. But when you release resistance and choose trust, you open the door for intention to flow freely into your life. Trust does not mean passivity. It means moving forward with confidence, even when you cannot yet see the entire path. It is the inner knowing that what you desire is on its way, and that every step, even the obstacles, is part of the unfolding process. Intention also requires gratitude. When you are grateful, you signal to life that you are already in possession of abundance, and abundance flows more easily. Gratitude raises your vibration, keeps you focused on what is working, and strengthens your belief that more is possible. To live with awakened intention is to live with constant appreciation, to see every challenge as a teacher and every success as a confirmation that you are on the right path. Gratitude anchors you in the present moment while keeping your heart open to greater possibilities. When you fully awaken the power of intention within you, you stop living reactively and start living deliberately. You no longer wait for the right moment or depend on external validation, because you realize that everything you need to shape your reality already exists within you. You understand that your thoughts are energy, your emotions are signals, and your actions are catalysts. Together, they form the blueprint of the life you are creating. Intention is not something far outside of your reach. It is within you, waiting for you to claim it, to align with it, and to allow it to guide your journey into the life you are meant to live. Take full responsibility for your destiny by realizing that no one else has the power to live your life. Make your choices or shape your outcomes the way you do. Every individual is given the gift of free will, and with that gift comes the weight of accountability. When you accept that your present circumstances, whether good or bad, are largely the result of your past decisions, you take back the power that many people unconsciously give away. Too often, people blame their families, their environment, their past experiences, or even luck for the conditions they find themselves in, but this mindset keeps them trapped in a cycle of limitation. True empowerment begins when you stop pointing outward and start looking inward, when you recognize that you are the author of your own story and that every thought, word, and action is shaping the next chapter of your life. Responsibility is not about carrying the burden of blame, but about embracing the freedom of choice. When you decide that you alone are responsible for your destiny, you also recognize that you are free to create change, no matter where you stand today. You may not control every circumstance, but you always control your response to it, and your response determines whether the experience becomes a setback or a stepping stone. Many people have faced adversity far greater than what they thought they could endure. Yet by choosing to rise instead of collapse, by choosing courage instead of surrender, they redirected the course of their lives. This choice is always available to you, but it requires honesty, discipline, and the courage to stop hiding behind excuses. Excuses are comfortable. They allow us to shift responsibility onto others and avoid confronting the discomfort of change. It is easier to say, "I can't because of my upbringing," or "I can't because of the economy," than to admit that fear or lack of discipline is holding you back. But every time you give an excuse, you hand over a piece of your power. When you release excuses and take ownership, you claim that power back, and your mind begins to open to solutions you could not see before. This is why responsibility is liberating rather than limiting. It puts the pen of authorship back in your hands, giving you authority over the story you are writing each day with your choices. The path to taking full responsibility often begins with self-awareness. You cannot change what you refuse to acknowledge. Start by observing your own patterns, the ways you react, the decisions you repeatedly make, and the results that follow. If you see cycles of failure or frustration, ask yourself what choices led to them. Instead of saying, "Life is unfair," ask, "What could I have done differently?" This shift in questioning transforms you from a passive victim into an active creator. With awareness comes the ability to redirect your energy to make better decisions and to break free from patterns that no longer serve you. It is also essential to accept that failure is part of responsibility. Many people avoid responsibility because they fear making mistakes, yet mistakes are the very experiences that shape wisdom and strength. When you take ownership of your failures instead of running from them, you discover lessons that can never be learned in comfort. You begin to see that failure is not a dead end, but a guidepost showing you what needs to be adjusted. By taking responsibility, you strip failure of its power to define you negatively and instead use it as fuel to refine your approach and move closer to success. Another aspect of responsibility is discipline. Dreams and intentions remain powerless without the discipline to act on them consistently. Responsibility demands that you show up for your goals even when you do not feel like it, even when the path is hard, and even when distractions tempt you away. Every act of discipline strengthens your sense of responsibility and reinforces the truth that you are in control of your destiny. Discipline is the bridge between intention and manifestation, and it is built by daily choices, small but consistent steps that compound over time into extraordinary results. Responsibility also requires letting go of entitlement. No one owes you success, happiness, or fulfillment. Life does not hand these to you simply because you exist. They are earned through the choices you make and the responsibility you take. When you release the belief that others are supposed to provide for your happiness, you stop waiting and start creating. Entitlement breeds stagnation, but responsibility breeds momentum. By choosing to stand fully accountable for your path, you free yourself from waiting on others and begin building the life you envision with your own hands. There is also a spiritual dimension to responsibility. When you acknowledge that you are responsible for your destiny, you are aligning with a universal truth that you are a co-creator with a higher power. Life is not happening to you, it is responding to you. Your thoughts, words, and actions send signals into the universe, and those signals return to you as experiences. By taking responsibility, you align yourself with this divine partnership, knowing that while you cannot control every external event, you can control your energy, and that energy shapes the reality you attract. Responsibility becomes not just a personal duty, but a spiritual practice, an acknowledgement of your role in the greater flow of life. Another important aspect is the courage to make decisions and stand by them. Many people avoid responsibility by remaining indecisive, afraid that choosing one path means closing the door on others. But indecision is also a choice, and it often leads to stagnation. Taking responsibility means daring to choose, daring to risk, daring to move forward without absolute certainty, but with faith that you can adapt and learn along the way. Responsibility is not about guaranteeing perfect outcomes. It is about committing to act, to learn, and to grow through the process. Every decision you make becomes a declaration that you are shaping your fate rather than letting life shape it for you. Taking full responsibility also means surrounding yourself with environments and people that reflect your highest aspirations. You are responsible for the influences you allow into your life, whether they are uplifting or toxic. Blaming others for distracting you, misleading you, or holding you back ignores the truth that you chose to allow their presence or chose not to set boundaries. Responsibility empowers you to curate your environment, to protect your energy, and to align with influences that support your destiny. The people you spend time with, the content you consume, and the habits you practice are all within your responsibility, and they either propel you forward or hold you back. Finally, responsibility requires persistence. Shaping your destiny is not a one-time decision, but a lifelong commitment to accountability. There will be days of doubt, setbacks that test your resolve, and obstacles that seem insurmountable. But responsibility means showing up anyway. It means refusing to surrender your power to circumstances, choosing instead to adapt, adjust, and keep moving forward. With persistence, responsibility transforms into resilience, and resilience ensures that no challenge can permanently derail you. When you fully embrace responsibility, you step into the driver's seat of your life. You no longer wait for others to change, for conditions to improve, or for opportunities to fall into your lap. You realize that your destiny is not shaped by chance but by choice, and that every day, every decision, and every action is a brushstroke on the canvas of your future. Transform challenges into stepping stones by first shifting the way you perceive them. Because the meaning you assign to every difficulty determines whether it will break you or build you. Most people view challenges as obstacles placed in their path to block progress, but the truth is that challenges are invitations to grow, to strengthen, and to prepare for the greater life that lies ahead. Every time you face something that seems insurmountable, you are being given the chance to rise beyond your current level of thinking and develop qualities that cannot be cultivated in comfort. A challenge is never just a barrier. It is a mirror reflecting where you need to expand, a teacher offering lessons disguised as hardship, and a test of your commitment to the vision you claim to hold for your life. When you embrace this perspective, you stop running from difficulties and start using them as tools to shape your character and sharpen your destiny. Life without challenges would be life without growth. Think of the seed buried in the soil. It must struggle against darkness, pressure, and resistance to break through into the light. Without that struggle, the seed would never sprout, the tree would never rise, and the fruit would never form. In the same way, your challenges are the soil pressing against you, pushing you to strengthen your inner roots, to stretch beyond your limitations, and to rise into the light of your potential. Each difficulty, no matter how painful, is an opportunity for transformation because it forces you to develop resilience, courage, patience, and creativity, qualities that remain dormant until tested. It is easy to grow complacent in ease, to settle into comfort zones where nothing stretches or challenges you. But comfort zones, though safe, are also cages that limit your potential. Only through challenges are you compelled to break those boundaries, to question old beliefs, and to discover strengths you never knew existed. The discomfort of struggle becomes the training ground for mastery. Athletes know this when they push their bodies through fatigue. Entrepreneurs know this when they persist after failures. And leaders know this when they face resistance yet continue forward. Every great achievement is built upon the foundation of challenges that were not avoided but embraced as stepping stones toward success. To transform challenges into stepping stones, you must first control your mindset. The human mind has an incredible ability to magnify problems, making them seem larger than they are, and to create fear that paralyzes action. But when you choose to reframe your thinking, when you decide to view the challenge as an opportunity instead of a punishment, the energy you bring to it changes completely. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" begin asking, "What is this here to teach me?" Or, "How can I grow through this?" Such questions shift you from victimhood to empowerment, from paralysis to possibility. You begin to see solutions, you begin to find strength, and you begin to realize that the challenge is not here to destroy you but to elevate you. Another way to transform challenges is to cultivate patience and trust in the process. Many times, challenges feel unbearable because we demand immediate resolution, but growth rarely happens instantly. Just as muscles need time to repair after being strained in exercise, your spirit needs time to integrate the lessons of hardship. Patience allows you to endure without giving up, trusting that even if you cannot yet see the outcome, the process is shaping you for something greater. Impatience leads to frustration, but patience creates resilience, and resilience allows you to keep moving even when the path ahead is uncertain. Challenges also force you to discover inner resources you may not have tapped into before. When everything goes smoothly, there is little reason to dig deep, but when life tests you, you are compelled to call upon hidden reserves of strength, wisdom, and creativity. You may discover new skills, new perspectives, or new capacities for perseverance that you never would have found without the challenge. These inner resources not only help you overcome the current difficulty, but also equip you for future challenges, ensuring that each struggle adds to your arsenal of strength. Transformation through challenge also comes from action. While mindset and perspective are vital, they must be paired. Align your thoughts with higher purpose by first understanding that your mind is the foundation of everything you experience, and the quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your life. Every idea, every decision, and every action originates in the mind. And if your mind is clouded by negativity, fear, or confusion, then the path you walk will mirror that energy. But when your thoughts are aligned with something greater than yourself, when they are connected to a sense of purpose that transcends temporary desires or fleeting emotions, you begin to live with clarity, direction, and fulfillment. A higher purpose is not always about grand achievements or recognition. It is about aligning your inner world with values that uplift you and contribute to the world in a meaningful way. When your thoughts are guided by this higher purpose, they become powerful tools for creation, resilience, and transformation. Most people live their lives driven by random or reactive thoughts, responding to circumstances instead of consciously directing their minds. They allow worry, self-doubt, and external influences to dictate what they believe is possible. But this reactive way of thinking disconnects you from higher purpose and keeps you trapped in cycles of distraction. Aligning your thoughts requires conscious awareness. It demands that you step back, observe the flow of your mind, and choose which thoughts to empower. Every thought you entertain is like a seed, and those seeds grow into the reality you inhabit. By planting seeds of vision, gratitude, love, and possibility, you nurture a mental environment that reflects the higher purpose you wish to embody. The first step in aligning your thoughts is clarity of purpose. Without a clear sense of what you are living for, your thoughts will scatter in countless directions, chasing distractions that offer little fulfillment. Purpose acts like a compass, giving direction to your mental energy and filtering out what does not serve your growth. When you know why you are here, what values you stand for, and what kind of impact you want to make, your thoughts begin to naturally align with that vision. Each decision becomes easier because you measure it against your higher purpose, asking whether it brings you closer to or further from the life you are meant to live. Once purpose is clear, you must train your mind to dwell on thoughts that support it. This requires discipline because the human mind tends to gravitate toward fear, doubt, and negativity. Left unchecked, these patterns can sabotage even the strongest intentions. But just as a gardener removes weeds to protect the growth of flowers, you must learn to identify and release thoughts that undermine your higher purpose. When a thought of fear arises, you can counter it with faith. When a thought of lack surfaces, you can replace it with gratitude for abundance. This ongoing practice of mental discipline gradually reprograms your mind until supportive thoughts become natural and automatic. Aligning your thoughts also requires awareness of the energy they carry. Every thought vibrates at a certain frequency, and those frequencies influence the experiences you attract. Thoughts of anger, resentment, and self-pity carry a low frequency that draws in circumstances aligned with struggle and conflict. Thoughts of love, compassion, and service carry a high frequency that draws in opportunities for growth, harmony, and fulfillment. By choosing thoughts that reflect higher values, you align not only with your purpose, but also with the universal flow of energy that supports it. This is why so many spiritual teachers emphasize the power of maintaining positive, elevated states of mind, because they open the door to synchronicity, guidance, and manifestation. Another important practice is visualization. When you consistently picture yourself living in alignment with your higher purpose, you train your subconscious mind to believe it is already real. The subconscious does not distinguish between vivid imagination and physical experience. So by visualizing with clarity and emotion, you embed new patterns into your mind that influence your actions and decisions. This alignment between thought and purpose creates momentum because your inner world begins to match the outer world you are building. Visualization, when paired with consistent action, becomes a powerful tool for turning purpose into reality. Affirmations also play a role in aligning your thoughts. By repeating empowering statements that reflect your higher purpose, you overwrite limiting beliefs and reinforce new mental pathways. Affirmations should not be hollow words, but deeply felt truths that resonate with your vision. For example, if your higher purpose involves serving others, an affirmation might be, "I am a source of light and inspiration to those around me." If your purpose is creativity, you might affirm, "I am a channel for new ideas and limitless expression." When repeated with conviction, these affirmations reshape your inner dialogue and align your thoughts with the values you are committed to living. Mindfulness is another key to alignment. In the rush of daily life, it is easy for the mind to scatter, caught up in past regrets or future anxieties. But mindfulness anchors you in the present, allowing you to observe your thoughts without judgment and gently guide them toward alignment with purpose. Through mindfulness practices such as meditation or conscious breathing, you create space between yourself and your thoughts, realizing that you are not your thoughts, but the one who chooses them. This awareness empowers you to release patterns that no longer serve you and to cultivate thoughts that elevate your life. It is also important to recognize that aligning your thoughts with higher purpose does not mean avoiding difficulties or denying negative emotions. Challenges will arise, and negative thoughts will surface, but alignment means choosing how you respond to them. Instead of letting fear dominate, you acknowledge it and redirect your focus toward faith. Instead of letting anger consume you, you observe it and shift toward compassion. This is not suppression but transformation, turning lower states into stepping stones for higher growth. In this way, even difficulties serve your purpose because they remind you to realign and deepen your practice. Gratitude is one of the most powerful states of thought for alignment. When you consistently focus on what you are thankful for, you shift your perspective from lack to abundance, from limitation to possibility. Gratitude raises your vibration and keeps your mind anchored in the awareness of blessings, which in turn attracts more experiences to be grateful for. By beginning and ending each day with thoughts of gratitude, you reinforce alignment with higher purpose, because gratitude keeps you connected to the present moment while opening your heart to greater possibilities. Service is another dimension of higher purpose that naturally aligns your thoughts. When you dedicate your energy to uplifting others, your mind becomes less preoccupied with fear, doubt, or selfish desires. Service expands your perspective, reminding you that your life is not just about personal gain, but about contributing to the collective good. Thoughts rooted in service carry powerful energy because they align with universal principles of love and compassion. When your thoughts are guided by the question, how can I help? How can I give? You align with a purpose that transcends your individual self and taps into something eternal. Consistency is essential to maintaining alignment. Just as physical health requires daily choices, mental alignment requires continual practice. It is not enough to think positively once in a while. Alignment demands that you return again and again to thoughts that reflect your purpose, even when distractions or setbacks arise. This consistency builds mental resilience, so that over time, your default state of thought naturally reflects higher values. You become less reactive to external circumstances and more anchored in the inner compass of your purpose. Over time, aligning your thoughts with higher purpose transforms not only your inner world, but also your external reality. You begin to attract opportunities, relationships, and experiences that mirror the energy of your thoughts. People are drawn to your clarity and conviction, doors open where once there were walls, and challenges become easier to navigate because you face them with a sense of meaning. Your life becomes a reflection of the values you hold and the vision you pursue, creating harmony between your inner and outer worlds. Ultimately, alignment is not a destination, but an ongoing practice. Each day offers the chance to realign, to choose thoughts that support your growth, and to live with intention. When you commit to this practice, you discover that life flows with greater ease, because you are no longer resisting the current of your purpose, but moving with it. Aligning your thoughts with higher purpose is about choosing clarity over confusion, faith over fear, and love over limitation. It is about remembering that the mind is not meant to be a cage of doubt, but a channel for the highest possibilities of your spirit.